Hello everybody, welcome to my first video web lesson for math. We're going to round decimals today. I want to show you a cool way to do it. Okay, before we round a decimal, let's talk about rounding a whole number. I have the whole number here of 375 with my place value labeled. I have a 3 in the hundreds place, 7 in the tens place, and a 5 in the ones place. Okay, if I want to round to the nearest hundred, what I need to do is circle the number in the hundreds place, and I'm going to do that right now. Then I'm going to draw an arrow over to the number on the right, pointing to the number on the right. That's what's going to help us round. As you can see, I've circled the number in the hundreds place, draw an arrow over to the right, which is a 7 in the tens place, and that's going to help me round. So I'm going to round to the nearest hundred in this number, and I'm going to say, well, is the number on the right 5 or more? Now, I tell my students in class that we're going to knock on the neighbor's door and ask them if the neighbor can help us lift some furniture and move it upstairs. So we're going to knock on the neighbor's door and ask, are you 5 or more? Because if he's 5 or more, then we can go up to the next hundred place, which would be a 4 or 400. So let's go ahead and try that. We're going to take a look at the 3. That's the number we're rounding. And the number to the right, which is a 7. Is it 5 or more? Yes or no? It is 5 or more. And we're going to ask that neighbor to push us upstairs to the next floor, which would be 400. So we're going to round it here. 375, if you look at a number line, would be closest to 400. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we round whole numbers. Now let's look at the place value of decimals. First, we're going to take a look at the place value on the right of the decimal. If you take a look here, we have our units, tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. I want to write those out in fraction form. Once again, units are our whole numbers, tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. Okay, how do we round decimals? Well, first of all, it's not very different from rounding whole numbers. Here you can see I've written down the decimal for us. We have 6 units, 4 tenths, 9 hundredths, and 3 thousandths. If I were to read that from left to right, I would read 6 and 493 thousandths. Now the question is, how do we round this, and what place value do we round it to? Let's say this time we're going to round it to the closest hundredth, okay? Just like in whole numbers, I circle the place value I'm rounding, which is my hundredths place, and I'm going to take a look here, and I'm going to draw an arrow to the number to the right. And again, we ask the question, is it 5 or more? Well, like I've said before, I ask the students in my classes, can you help this number move up to the next floor in the apartment building? If so, you can help us move some furniture. So we're going to knock on the door of the neighbor. The neighbor is 3 in the thousandths place. And we're going to say, can you help me move a piano upstairs? And the answer would be only if I'm 5 or more. And you can take a look here, and you can tell that 6 and 493 thousandths, the 3 is in the thousandths place. That's going to help us move the 9, or help us round the 9, I should say. Is it 5 or more? The answer is no. So how do we round this? Well, we take 6, and we're going to leave that alone, and we're going to take the 4 tenths and leave that alone because we're not rounding that. Now the number in question is the 9 in the hundredths place. Now we're using the neighbor to the right, which is a 3. It is not 5 or more, so we're going to round this number to 6 and 49 hundredths. And there you have it. 6 and 493 thousandths can be rounded to 6 and 49 hundredths. I didn't put the 0 in the thousandths place because really in decimals you don't need to add the 0, okay? So there you have it, rounding decimals. Now, sometimes when you round decimals, you might have to round to a whole number. Gee, I wonder how we do that. Just like before, you look at your place value, and we're going to look at the units place, and we're going to circle the number of the units place. In this case, it is a 7. We're going to circle the 7 and draw an arrow to the number to the right, which would be the number in the tenths place. And again, we're going to ask the question, is that number 5 or more? Can it help us move our piano upstairs? And 6 is more than 5, so yes, it can move the piano up to the next floor, which would be the 8. As you can see, I've put in the zeros as a place value holder to show you that 8 is the closest whole number to 7 and 638 thousandths. For more help with rounding decimals, you can go to my website and click on the Math Palace. Thanks for watching.